94.9 The Rock, GTA's Rock Station. Bob Willett in studio with Jonny and Daniel from Nothing More. Guys, thanks so much for coming in on a show day.
Hey, good to be here.
Yeah. There is no other day to come. So let's
Fair enough. Yeah. Go figure. You're not in this area just hanging out all the time.
No, I vacation here every year. Yeah, it's great. Right around February.
How is the tour going right now?
Really good. A little colder than our Texas blood is used to, but not too bad. We're not,
this is nothing.
I've heard it gets much worse.
Yeah.
But so far, really good crowds. 3 Days Grace has been nothing but great to us. Sometimes bands aren't always the best to the opening acts, and they've been really, really nice to us. Whole crew, everybody.
Yeah, they buy us pizza every night. It's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
Never had hospitality like that. It's amazing.
Exactly. You guys, no big riders, no big rock riders for you guys.
No, ours is pretty elaborate. Yeah. Or it can be.
Good. What's on it? Let's hear it. I would love to hear.
Avocados, lime, lemon, ginger.
Pedialyte,
lots of Pedialyte.
diapers, a lot of baby stuff.
Just whatever,
Yeah.
Are there is there family? Is it people married off on the tour at all? Like, is there you guys?
Our guitar player's married and has a 5-year-old. So
our drummer has his girlfriend out on the road right now.
Yeah.
Dan and I, our loves are back home.
Well, very nice.
Very, very sad.
Yeah.
If they're listening.
So you guys have, so the thing with this is Bad Wolves go on, then you guys go on, then 3 Days Grace. How do you approach a show where it's not, because you guys can headline your own shows. You had like a headlining tour coming up. How do you approach a show differently when it's a 3 Days Grace show? How do you approach putting the set list together? Like, is it a different process?
Yeah, there's a different mentality. It's like going into a first date. You realize everything you say has a little bit of a different. There's no background. There's no context to it. These people don't know who you are.
Right.
A lot of them don't, at least. Whereas with the headlining show, there's a little bit more of a comfort, and you can just kind of sink in and I guess play some of the slower tracks, deeper cuts off the album. With these shows, we're gonna do the wham bam, thank you ma'am set. Hit
them hard,
short and sweet. Hit it hard. Yeah,
and everything. It is someone else's show, so we have to make sure we're just right on the clock, pretty much too.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Every now and again, our front of house engineer will come on, and it's like God talking to us. It scares us. It's like, hey guys, you got 4 minutes left. You got to cut something.
On
like,
the
where'd that come from?
like that on through your monitors.
You get that? Yeah. Because sometimes we go on a little late, or stuff like that. But
But you have a pretty elaborate stage setup. Mm-hmm. Especially for like, I saw some footage from last night in Windsor, and is it? Do you build that stuff? Is that what I read? Is like
I do all the metal construction for the set.
Are you are you a metalsmith by trade?
No, just by passion.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it about 6 years ago. The first idea I had that required the obvious use of steel was the bass solo deal that does the 720 and locks upside down.
Yes.
Or a 540. Sorry, wrong angle.
Snowboarders calling you out right
snowboards.
now.
Yeah. It lands fakey, inverted. After that, I just at that time I was single, living at a buddy's house, and really, I literally went band. We had a band practice.
Not fighting with anyone.
I'm not fighting with anyone, and I'm too poor to go out and like buy beer or hang out with friends, so I'm just gonna weld. I fell in love with it. Originally, what's funny, I wish I had a picture of it, but that bass stand, that's still the original bass stand, but I originally stuck it into this steel reinforced trash can that in our intro I used to smash it with a big PVC pipe.
It would break every night into shards.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It was
kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
How do you bring an idea like that to your bandmates? Like, how do you go like, guys? Okay, this is where I think the direction we need to go.
Yeah,
we need to build a huge metal scorpion, and how does that come up? Like, and how's it received?
When I did the bass stand, I didn't tell anyone I was doing it because I was scared it would get shot down or the idea changed too much before. Because that was the first thing I ever did, So I was kind of overly sensitive to. I didn't know what my abilities were yet. I kept it in the dark, and I remember our manager came to a band practice, and I finally unveiled it like in the backyard of the band house, Nice. And everyone was like, whoa, I'm like, yes,
it worked.
It worked. Yeah. This is what we needed. But yeah, from there, we never actually did it with it in the trash can. Right after that, I built the big metal drums that Jonny has at the front of the stage.
Yeah,
So-
and then, over the years, Dan, progressed and had this idea to launch me into the air on this thing that we now call the scorpion tail.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right. And at first I was like open to the idea. And then when I saw the riggedy thing, beta 1,
Yeah.
fixed
Fresh.
all the kinks, and it was, on concrete in this back patio. And he's like, all right, give her a shot. And I'm like, no handle, nothing to hold on
Yeah,
to. I
nothing
was
to
like,
hold on to.
you sure about this?
Yeah.
I launched up and I was like, dude, this is super sketchy. I was like,
Yeah.
is this going to be safe? And he's like, should be. I'll never forget. Famous last words, should
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, I was like 500 hours into the project at that point, so I'm like, just so you know, this is gonna happen. Like, you might be scared
I put all
right
this
now.
work into it. We're doing it.
We're doing this.
And as long as you don't, tumble to your peril, then we'll be all
I've
good.
only fallen off of it once, so
Yeah.
Have you?
knock on wood, yeah.
How high were you when you fell off it?
I don't know, where is it at? Where's my head at when I'm
His
standing?
head's about like 12 feet above the
Okay.
stage.
All right.
But it nothing broke. It has these locks that kind of hold it in place once it goes up. And
Right.
Jonny was just going crazy on it, and it unlocked it and threw him off the
Kind of
back.
my fault.
Yeah.
I provoked the
It was
beast.
user error.
yeah.
User error. That's
So,
it. Yeah.
Off the back is fine. I'm just deathly afraid of him going off the front because sometimes, we've been on like 8-foot stages and so
'cause then
his
you add
feet are
another-
like 13 feet above the ground.
Oh wow, you're quite a ways up there.
Yeah. So
that
I'm gonna
would
break
hurt.
some legs. Or,
That'd be a hospital visit.
And on this tour, on the Outsider tour, doing, probably to like, somewhere between 3,000 to 7,000 people, depending on the night and whatnot. Do you guys, when you're hanging out before a show, and you're thinking about the audience, you would kind of answer the question already about opening versus headlining. What about the size of a venue? Does the size change how you do your thing? Because like what I like to ask sometimes is like sweaty club or huge European festival stage. They both have their benefits, right?
Yeah.
yeah. Man, I would take a sweaty club.
Yeah, I like
always.
the sweaty
Yeah.
club.
Yeah. Some of the festivals, and I get like the scale of it changes this, but some of them, the crowd is like 30 feet from the stage, it
Right.
seems like.
Yeah.
You could put like 2 cars in that area. So it just feels very disconnected,
Yeah.
Whereas a sweaty club, they're just right
there on
you. can
you.
look in everyone's eyes.
They're all
And
part of the same energy.
Because you guys are
Yeah.
about to go hit the road with Papa Roach.
Yeah.
And in the UK,
Yeah.
is there a difference in the audiences there, like in rock audiences in Europe or UK versus
Yeah.
here in North America?
I would say it's country to country, but
Yeah,
the
I've heard
UK
that.
is I'd say the UK is city to city. I've seen some cities that were way more reserved, but when it comes to like London or even Cardiff was our last show. I don't know. They've been pretty responsive and just as good as anywhere else. I think when you get to like Eastern Europe, that's when it gets really crazy. It's like the Beatles mania kind of level of like we're not on the radio over there, nothing, but they have
Yeah.
flags with our names on it.
They
and are,
love metal.
like
They
falling on the
love-
stage. and
Yeah, they like
going
chug a beer and
crazy.
smash a bottle on their head in the spirit of rock and roll.
Yeah,
Like
and
eating
Italy's
glass.
real like lively too.
I've heard that. That surprised me. I didn't realize that the metal scene was so huge in Italy.
Yeah, there's definitely a metal thing there.
Yeah, and it's a really expressive culture too.
Yeah.
Versus like Germany, especially. I think
Very efficient in Germany.
Yeah, very efficient. A lot of the big differences come when you're an opener and nobody knows you.
Yeah.
Like then, like the Germans are just cold. Yeah, it's like you're annoying them.
Same thing with the Swiss or the
Yeah.
Swedes. It's like they you could tell they're enjoying it. There's a smile on their face, but they're just staring at you. They're
Quietly judging.
Yes, like
Yeah.
even the head bob is just so reserved. It's
Wow.
right, it's like this instead
So
of
funny.
Yeah. And
inch back and forth.
yeah, and the Scottish, they're some of the loudest, most hilarious people you'll meet.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah, but then at
they're
the
rowdy.
show, they're very quiet and reserved, even in between songs
Really?
and things. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I remember a pretty rowdy one, but maybe I'm thinking of somewhere else. I don't
Yeah.
know. But Canada is actually very good. And
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because we're in Canada.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, there's a little bit more of a an appreciation or an excitement or something than the U.S.
Yeah, well, and some of the dates you're doing, so some of the places you're doing don't necessarily get the big shows all the time. You know, like this is a home show for 3 Days Grace. Like Neil's from like around the corner. Neil lives like 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, this is like a home show for 3 Days
nice.
Grace. So
this is gonna be a good one tonight.
It's going to be a good one tonight. Yeah. The places we've been talking about the show for months. We gave away a bunch of tickets. It's going to be a good one tonight for sure. Now, how long have you guys been touring this album, The Stories We Tell Ourselves? Like,
we started. It dropped last September, and that's when that tour started.
Yeah.
It started like what was it then? We're in Chicago when it dropped. Yeah, I think something like that.
yeah.
So
you've been on the road a long time.
pretty much. Yeah.
A lot of time in a bus, a lot of time in a van or whatever.
Yeah.
When you get off stage, first of all, like, is there do you write when you're on the road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been actually towards the middle and the end of our cycle. That happens a lot more. Whereas at the beginning of our tour cycle, we're all burnt out on writing and recording. But me personally, I've been stocking away a lot of ideas, as has Mark. I think Dan's been working on some live show ideas,
Nice.
like sketches and stuff. And yeah, and even Ben, he's been sharing some stuff. Like we all email each other ideas. We don't really come together as a group because our schedules are kind of crazy,
Right.
Until we get off the road and we actually get into a room.
And then everybody brings something different. And
Yeah, we all
you
just bring
kinda-
a notebook.
Yeah.
With stuff and just throw ideas on the table.
Are you throwing stuff down like with an acoustic guitar or like, or you just
No,
lyrics?
A lot
or?
of it starts just electric musically.
Well, that's, yeah,
you know?
like with some keys or so, like some drum machine stuff or.
Yeah. I mean, either Mark has a riff, or Johnny has some programming stuff.
Yeah.
Or a lot of times, I think it has to. I mean, we might have lyrics stockpiled, but we try to sketch in like what a loose vision of a song, you know, and then you kind of listen through the music and see what it's saying.
Yeah.
And then you can go and find lyrics, and we all kind of talk about what we feel the song feels like.
I'm always interested in the life cycle of a song, like how it go, where it starts and where it ends up, and then what it ends up being to you guys as a band and to your audience, and I'm always fascinated by that.
Yeah, I think we're like king of the rewrites. Like we've had some songs that have morphed like 100 times.
Oh,
you
really?
know? And we've had riffs that have started like 4 different songs, and then the riff ends up getting written out of the song. It's like the spark that made the song now no longer fits.
Yeah, we call
but the
those
song is good.
The fountain of youth parts. They're just creating, but they're not.
But they're not it. They're not what it is.
Yeah.
When
you guys, I'll let you guys get going because you guys got a show to do tonight. But I want to because you're on the road all the time, and you get off stage, like I said, van or bus. Do you guys is silence golden, or do you want to hear? Are you listening to music? What do you do when you get in and everything's done for the day?
Yeah, right when we're off stage, I'm a big silence guy.
Yeah.
I always go outside by myself just to kind of debrief by myself, kind of go over things. And, I don't know, there's so much noise and kind of pressure in my head on stage that the last thing I ever want to do is go back into a small room with people talking or something like that. So I need about 10 minutes usually.
Our drummer, Ben, we get along probably some of the best in the band.
Swimmingly well, yeah.
We think very much alike, but the one thing we don't get along with is right after the show, he goes into talk mode. Like he wants to talk about the show and what we did wrong.
Wants to dissect
all the technical problems.
And I'm like, Ben, shut up. I don't want to talk about this right now. I literally just want to stare at the wall.
Yeah.
Drink some water, have a beer.
Exactly. Come down a little bit, and then we'll go.
And it's always good intentions, I applaud his enthusiasm.
Well, it's like he's coaching almost, already. We could have done this. We could have done that. Jonny and Daniel from Nothing More, guys. Thank you so much for coming in. Enjoy the rest of the tour, and next time please come by anytime. We really appreciate it.
Cool. If you got the pizza, we'll be here.
Done.
Yeah.